Hey everyone, welcome to another Anime Kingdom review. See by the title below, yes, this is on episode 11 of Katsugeki Touken Ranbu. And yes, I know, I'm sorry that this is like, you may be wondering like, where the hell has all my episode reviews been for like most of the animes that I'm reviewing for this season? And if you have not been up to date with my Facebook and Twitter, then you do not know that it's just these past several weeks has just been it's just been so hard for me because I've been just really busy with a lot of things, including with the new semester of school also starting in these past several weeks as well. It just made it impossible for me to keep up with all these animes. And finally, when I did find some time to go ahead and do that and I wanted to catch up, it still wasn't enough, honestly, in the end, because I still had stuff I had to do and I couldn't just go ahead and make these huge quintuple episode reviews. As you saw, you know, for the past weeks and everything, I've had these double episode and triple episode reviews already trying to catch up, and I ended up being able to catch up with some of them, but there still are several that I have not been able to catch up with. And you know, I'm sorry if there are some of you that still want to hear my thoughts and opinions on all these episodes that I have missed, but it's come to the point where it's way too hard and I cannot, you know, be able to make those huge reviews at this moment. And I just made a calculated decision to go ahead and end up skipping all those episodes. I still watch them, guys, so it's not like I just skipped to this episode and everything, but I decided just to skip all the reviews and make, of course, a review on the latest episodes and just start off fresh from here on out. And yeah, so I hope you guys do understand that. I know that this episode as well, episode 11, already came out like last week Saturday, so it is late, but I decided that I still wanted to, especially considering the fact how this episode went, I still wanted to go ahead and review this one and put it up, since the new episode doesn't come out for like a couple days still yet as well. So you guys may still want to go ahead and watch this review, while if I made like for, you know, a month ago, the 4 episodes ago kind of episode review, then I'm pretty sure you wouldn't really care to see and hear my thoughts on that from that long ago. So that is, of course, the reason why all my episode reviews have been late, and why, of course, I ended up skipping all the way to here in episode 11 from, I think the last one I did was episode 7. So yeah, sorry guys, I hope you guys do understand. And yeah, let's get on to talking about how did I feel about episode 11, because honestly, this episode, it did a good job. It was a really good build-up episode. Honestly, if I had to, you know, one word to describe the feeling that I felt from most of this episode, it was tense. It was really tense. Like, a good build-up episode will make you, you know, pretty much wonder throughout the episode, keeping you at the edge of your seat, wondering what's going to happen next. What's going to happen to this character? What's going to happen to this character? What's going to happen to the whole story overall? And it did, you know, they did a really good job at that, honestly. I, from the very beginning, was wondering, you know, obviously you have Horikawa, he's disappeared. No one knows where he's going to go. And you kind of had the same feeling that the rest of the group does as well. And you kind of think, did he really, since the last thing he said was talking about, you know, if Ryoma dies, then Hijikata would be able to live a, you know, better life. He wouldn't die the way he ended up dying. And you kind of wonder, oh my gosh, is he going to go and kill Ryoma? But you've known him throughout this whole series, and you kind of like, no, that's not possible, right? But then you kind of just see, like, in the last episodes, you're like, oh my gosh, it may be possible. I'm not very sure, but who the hell knows, you know? And it comes to the point where you're kind of following with the group, and you're kind of following with Izumi no Kami, and you're kind of wondering, oh my gosh, you know, what's happening? Where is he? He wasn't there with Ryoma. Ryoma ends up leaving. And that's another thing as well, is the fact that what we've been seeing in these past few episodes is the whole thing with history is changing. And the way it's been changing so far is that it's kind of, things are happening way before they're supposed to happen. Like, for example, Ryoma was not supposed to leave for like another week or more than that, I think it was. I wasn't too sure, not too sure how long it was ago, but he wasn't supposed to leave for like quite a while later, you know, so he ends up already leaving. And that's another thing that can kind of translate to what I'm going to talk about in the latter half of this, you know, review, is the whole thing with, it is possible that maybe, even though it's been small changes here and there is a possibility with how Horikawa is thinking that maybe they can change how Hijikata thinks while still allowing history to be saved. It's pretty interesting because whenever you have stuff with time travel, honestly, it's always a headache because you're always wondering, is this the right decision? Will this change too much if you want to change something? Because whenever you think, maybe I'll just change this small little thing. But even the smallest things can completely change history and, you know, just ruin it, obviously ruin, and just you end up having a whole different future. So it's really interesting to see, like, is it possible that they can save Hijikata, as that's what Horikawa wants to do, by changing his ideals and values. Now this is the part where, like, I really enjoyed as well, because the whole part for the very ending part of the episode was, of course, the clash of ideals between Izumi no Kami and Horikawa. And this is the part where I actually, like, I had to really think, honestly, because you get a kind of different perspective from both sides, and they both make valid points. Honestly, I'm still leaning more towards, you know, Izumi no Kami, but I understand where Horikawa is going from. You know, I really enjoyed that they ended up showing the whole past part, and how, you know, with Izumi no Kami, he kind of knows exactly how, you know, Horikawa feels, and, you know, vice versa, obviously. But there is one part that he does not understand, because at a certain part of history, you know, Hijikata ends up sending away, you know, Izumi no Kami off, so he doesn't see his final days in that final battle that Hijikata ended up having to endure. And this is, of course, where Horikawa comes in, and he makes a very interesting statement in the fact that, you know, he doesn't make this statement, but you can definitely see that, you know, Izumi no Kami, he didn't see what happened at the end when Hijikata ended up dying. He didn't see the regret that he may have had before he ended up dying. So it comes to the point where it's really interesting, because you have one side which I've always thought of Izumi no Kami as more of the mature one, while Horikawa is more of the younger one and everything. But in terms of how this ends up ending, it's shown that it looks more like Horikawa is being the more mature one and giving Izumi no Kami the pretty much the decision on how to do everything, and, you know, Izumi no Kami is the one basing things more on emotion than anything, you know. And I really enjoyed that, you know, Horikawa, he still shows that younger side of him, in the fact that he's kind of, his answer to everything is kind of still naive. We heard already with Musu no Kami that even if he was able to save Hijikata from, you know, dying and everything in that battle, he would end up being, you know, pretty much executed, or he would end up being in jail. And even if he was somehow able to get out of jail, he wouldn't be able to live the same life, because he wouldn't be able to live the life of a warrior. And this is where, of course, you know, the whole thing with Izumi no Kami comes in and makes sense, is because he lived his life as a warrior, and that's why his loyalty and everything was to this certain code. And that's why Izumi no Kami is doing the same thing, and how he's sticking to his new master, and he's sticking to saving history and everything. And yes, he does hurt. There is some things that he, you know, obviously is regretting, and the tears and everything that he wanted to, you know, he still wants to save Hijikata, but he's pretty much accepted that he cannot do that if he wants to save history and everything. And that's where you come at Horikawa, and obviously the whole fact that he wants to save him. He feels that, you know, both Izumi no Kami and Hijikata are falling into the same trap. They both think a lot alike, and he's seen how Hijikata had ended his life and everything, while, you know, Izumi no Kami didn't. So he wants to change and help Izumi no Kami as well. Change both of them, help both of them, and still be able to save history, protect history. So it would be definitely interesting to see how these next episodes as the first half of the finale. Like, I'm considering these 2 episodes as one big finale on how it's going to be from how it looks like. So, like, I suspect that the next episode, like, maybe a little bit more build up in the first half. I don't think that, obviously, that he actually strikes him down. I'm not too sure if it's Musu no Kami saving him, if Horikawa tries to stop him, but I'm predicting it's probably going to be along the lines like he stabs down and hits the ground right next to Horikawa, because I can't see, you know, Izumi no Kami doing that, even if he's really loyal to his new master and in his beliefs and everything, and he doesn't want Horikawa to go and do what he's going to do, so he has to stop him. He still isn't going to kill him, and it should definitely be a very emotional first half of the episode for the next one, and then after that it's going to be some crazy shit. I'm not too sure what's going to happen, but yeah, I'm definitely excited to see how these next episodes will go. So far, I have loved, you know, this series. It's been really, I've loved the historical aspect, I've loved the action aspect, I've loved the just how beautiful it looks. That's just ufotable in general, and the action scenes, of course, have always been awesome as well. So it should be interesting to see how these next episodes will go, and maybe we will see a battle between Horikawa and, you know, Izumi no Kami, because we haven't seen a battle we've seen, of course, it's normally them versus the, you know, the retrograde army and everything, but we've never seen him kind of like a clash between swords and everything. And it would be pretty cool to see Horikawa going up against Izumi Nakami. Not too sure how that's going to end up being, of course. I'm pretty sure no one's going to die, but you never know, honestly. You really never know. I didn't play the game, so I'm not too sure. Don't spoil it. I'm not saying I didn't play the game, so how about you spoil me? But yeah, that's what I'm saying, that I honestly do not know what's going to happen next. But yeah, that's all I got to say, guys. Hope you enjoyed this Anime Kingdom review. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If there's anything I missed, I'll talk about, comment below as well. And if you did enjoy it, feel like, if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. And as always, guys, I want to know your guys' thoughts. How do you feel about this episode? What are your expectations for the next couple episodes? Feel free to comment below, however, whatever you guys want to talk about. And yeah, that's all I got to say, guys. So until next time, see ya.